So one challenge that's come up quite a lot this year is how to build high performance teams that are really delivering what we want to the customer at the end of the day. When we talk about high performance teams, what I'm really saying is that we have teams that are self-motivated and driven, as well as being able to solve problems and frustrations in that team and deliver a high quality or the quality that's required for the customer with the right lead times, with the right level of service that is going to keep them coming back and back and back. So one of the first questions is really, do we need a high performance team, or is that the biggest challenge that we have today? We always want the best teams and to grow and grow, but what are some things that really signal that we have a challenge inside of our team, whether it's the management of the team or the team as a whole, that's leading us to, this is something that we need to put on our radar at a high level to make sure we got a plan built around it to solve this problem. So are the teams missing deadlines? That could be deadlines to the customer with production, with flow, with delivery of a service, or it could be internal deadlines with projects or other initiatives that are going on. If we're seeing them continuously miss those deadlines, that can be a telltale sign that we really need to look at what's going on in a deeper dive into there. The other thing to look for is, do we have either low motivation or low energy? We might just have one or two individuals in our team that is kind of dragging everyone else down. If they're very low, even if someone's pretty high in their motivation and energy levels and wanting to drive to the right behavior and the right consistency, just one person can really spread, like that energy, that low positiveness can really spread across the whole team and bring everyone down. What you might be finding yourself doing is getting in there and micromanaging a little more than you're used to, or more than you think is appropriate for that level of team member with where they are in their competencies and productivity. There's no problem with micromanaging at the very beginning. That's part of what we do when we have a new team member on board, or someone changing position, or there's a new system, a new process in there. Getting involved and getting in the details to make sure things are happening exactly how we want them to is a good thing. There is a level of micromanagement that has to happen, but if we have a tenured person that has already been through a lot of these different situations and problem solving, and we're still having to do that, there could be an issue there, an underlying issue that we really need to resolve and be able to push forwards. So these are the three best tools that I've seen that can get some very, very quick results inside of your teams, whether you're the manager or whether it's giving these tools to the manager that's allowing them to build that team up. So the first one, and I've said this a lot in other videos as well, is using SMART goals. It is so important that a goal is defined well enough that we can say, yes, we hit it, no, we didn't. Now, there's lots of ways for us to look at stretch goals inside of those goals, or if we get to a certain level, a threshold, then yes, we've done the piece, and there's sandbagging and other things inside of goals and stretch goals that we do. And we get into a lot more conversation about goals versus standards in the 12-week management program that I have, that really goes into implementing a system, a management system inside of your business. But to look at it at a very easy, kind of basic implementing way, SMART goals. So SMART being specific, measurable, attainable, results orientated, and time bound. Having all those elements, make sure that there is no interpretation that's needed and exactly what we're looking at. Now, do we have an overarching SMART goal that's driven for the week, for the month, or built around an implementation of an initiative inside of the business? Or do we have lots of smaller SMART goals that are all building it to it? Either way, what we want to be able to do is show the big picture as well. So if we have initiatives, if we have company goals, as much as we can bring them down to individual SMART goals for a team or individuals, we want to be able to do that, but always letting them see how this impacts the top level for the company, and how we're also going to measure it. That's great when we tie those SMART goals to KPIs or KAIs inside of the organization. The second one is to make sure that we have a good cadence on one-to-one meetings. So if we haven't started having one-to-one meetings with our team members. Let's start doing that, but then also build that cadence. It doesn't have to be every day. Once a week is great, but if it's something new for your organization, then maybe it's every 2 weeks, or at least once a month that you're starting this off, where it's going to take time to build up a routine and for that trust to be built up. We have to kind of fill up the cup before we can extract from it. But building a cadence around those meetings and an agenda and specific points that we want to go over, and let them express what they're going through, the challenges, let them talk through it, ask them for ideas, problem solving, asking them for the 1-3-1 to see if they have a challenge. Well, what would 3 potential solutions be for this problem, and what do you think the best one is? Allowing them to kind of work through that. So it's really a training session as well as a one-to-one. But over time, it'll take you definitely a few iterations of these one-to-one meetings. But getting into that cadence where you're seeing that, they know what's happening, they know that if there is a problem, they can bring it to that one-to-one. It doesn't have to be immediately. You can go through that sessions, and it's amazing how much value the employee takes away from that, or the team member takes away from that, because it is their point where they're allowed to sound off things that are working great, things that they're struggling with, or things that are frustrating inside of the business. And the third one is celebrating small wins. If you look at a lot of the surveys that have been done on the reasons why people work, why they stay with someone, so not why someone's coming in, but why are they staying with a company and a manager, at the very top of there is that they feel appreciated in what they do and that they feel in on things. So one-on-one meetings take care of both of those things. So that's why they're really so important. But when it comes down to celebrating achievements, absolutely, if we've hit a SMART goal, that's a great achievement to recognize individuals. But what's more important is recognizing the individual behaviors or actions or activities that individual did to get to that goal or to get to that achievement. What we don't want to do is just the generic, good job team, we did very well, or I'm very proud of you. Those are nice, but they're not really directing the behavior that we're wanting to see, the actions that person's taking that is making that achievement possible. So being specific around it, which sometimes is a little difficult, to really pick out that thing out of everything that happens during the week. But if you look for it, you will see those opportunities. And noting them down, being able to talk to them in the one-to-one, but also in a team meeting or a town hall kind of environment, that's a great time to bring up some of those achievements and the reason why they're achievement to people, and it builds a lot of camaraderie around that team and that individual. So if you're looking to upgrade your team and give them the tools that is really going to turn them into high performing teams, reach out to me at ActionHTX.com, and I'll happily sit down and we can talk about what implementation strategy we can have, whether it's just using some of the simple tools I talked about or the more comprehensive implementation for the 12-week management program. I'm Andrew Buchan, your Business Accelerator.